Hey everybody, it's Doug here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to an unboxing of something that came in a big giant box for me. I thought you'd want to see it since we're all trapped at home during this interesting time in our lives. But this is the Kickstarter release of Starcadia Quest. And I'm going to go through it as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. This is the main box here. I'm going to show you that briefly just for a moment before I show you some other things that came with it, just so you get an idea of how much stuff was in my pledge here. It's quite a bit. Anyway, this is the main box. We're going to put that aside for a moment. Then I got Starcadia Quest Armada, which is a campaign expansion. And then there's Starcadia Quest Space Marauders, which is I believe, another, I think it's a expansion or just characters. It's characters. That's all the additional characters. Then Build a Robot, Starcadia Quest Build a Robot, a campaign expansion. And then these are all boxes, bigger boxes anyway. And then Starcadia Quest Showdown and Arena expansion. So those are the major boxes that I got. You can see it's quite a bit. And I got a bag of extra dice. Build a Boat Robot extra parts. We'll take a look at that with the Build a Robot. Got the scenery pack. I didn't get everything, but I got quite a bit. Got Needles here, which is an expansion character. Got the plastic token pack because I like those way better than the cardboard tokens. And then this Zenith Invasion, a campaign expansion, as well as this one here, which is the Starcadia Quest Thorn Trooper expansion, a campaign expansion. So there are those, and I think the Thorn Troopers basically are like Star Wars, right? You can see there. I'm not going to open that one, I don't think, or this one right away. I'll probably just focus on the other ones for the moment. We'll take a look at that. We're going to start with the base game, though, so let's do that. First thing that happens, I got to get out my knife and cut open some plastic. I'm going to do that off camera. Just want to show you that this is all still in shrink. Everything's still brand new. Let's open it up. Okay, y'all, here is the big box of Starcadia Quest. This is the base game. I'm going to Spaghetti Western Games and CMON. And, you know, they've been making some really fun games for such a long time. Arcadia Quest was definitely one that I really enjoyed. So you can see that everything's packaged nicely in here. They started shrink wrapping their cardboard bits, which I thought was interesting. Anyway, this is the rule book. And, of course, in typical CMON fashion, it's really nicely, colorfully laid out. Usually pretty well laid out, too. Gives you an idea, and it talks about the campaign overview of the campaign in the base game. How you set up your crew. Now, what's interesting, I think in the first couple scenarios, your crew is only 2 characters instead of 3. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 2. Maybe it gets to be more later, but initially it's 2. It was 3 in the old Arcadia Quest, which I still have, and I still have Inferno as well, as well as pets and quests and all kinds of stuff. But there is a 2-player setup. You got the starting area for the different players, etc. Not a 2-player setup, just a setup. And then what the game board elements are, how you move and fight. It's very similar, except that in this one I noticed that they have tokens instead of cards for the items, or cardboard counters, which are just fine. That's fine. It does the same thing. It conserves some space. And it tells you what all the dice hits mean, all the other stuff, and then also how you activate the monsters through the event deck, which is different than the original game. The monster board, how monsters interact, etc. Pretty straightforward. Quests that you do, the upgrades, and the quests are the same things as in Arcadia Quest. There's usually quest cards that tell you what to do and get the rewards. Some of them are PvP quests, meaning player versus player. Some are PvE quests, and then there's a campaign sheet. That is the rule book, and then we're going to take a look at this. This thing opens up, and you see the campaign sheet right there. This is for the base campaign, the one that comes in the basic game, and then also the mats. Now, there are in here, I believe, we're going to get to it, are plastic inserts for your mats. So this is the Starcadia Quest campaign sheet. This is the first campaign. It shows all 4 factions, and then you get to track your heroes on the back of that. Then there's also the boards, the different faction boards, just like in Arcadia Quest, but this is the Spacefaring version. It does look like you only end up with 2 characters in this. Maybe later on you end up with 3. This is the artwork on the back of that, so it's really nice. You can see that you have all of these factions. This is the trooper board, and this is the other faction boards. There's the faction boards, and then the troopers and officers are your enemies. And I'll just put those back in this plastic bag. We'll look at the big cardboard token pack, I think, last, because there's so much more to unpackage here. We'll see how this plays out from a unboxing standpoint. You know, I'm not a huge unboxing fan, but there's so much content, you just got to show it off. Then there's this. Okay, so these are the tiles right here. So here is space for everything, and I assume it doesn't really show you how to set it up, but assume it's pretty intuitive. So right here you can see you got all of your tiles. We'll take a look at those, and then these are clearly the miniatures down here, and there's also should be some faction boards. I'm not sure there. Here's cards, space for all the cards. Maybe the faction boards are in here with the miniatures. We'll see in a second. But first, let's do this. We're gonna, and this is where all of these tokens go in here. So that's pretty cool. But let's take a look at some tiles first. Okay, so these are the tiles. You can see there's computer spaces on them and different places, summoning areas where you can teleport. These are actually spawn points for the enemies. You can see that they're really colorful, really nicely done. Just to give you some example of other ones that they have in the game right there. So again, summoning point and a teleporter. Lots of different icons on the board. I don't know what all of these are yet because I haven't played this version of the game yet, but you can get the idea of what they are. So that's kind of nice, one with the big starry window in the middle of it. Pretty cool. And of course they are numbered, and I don't know where the numbers are on these. Maybe no, I guess they're not. They just show the pictures because they're pretty clear what they are. I don't see a number on the board. That's okay. Anyway, I think you get the idea. Here's some more. Right there. These are the tiles. Good looking tiles. I really enjoy them. They look like they're going to be quite satisfactory in the game. And I think what we'll do next is we're going to pop this open and take a look at the cardboard pieces. Now these are all the upgrades that you can have. You can see there's quite a few of them, but then there's also a bunch of tokens. And I don't believe we're going to have to use any of those tokens. So, and by the way, I believe these are, the gray side is when you've used them. Some of them don't get used. That's why they have color on both sides. And then you can see that there's lots of various items that you can use in the game. I think I'm going to take this moment to take out the plastic tokens pack and see what's in there compared to what's on here, so I know what I don't have to punch out and put. I'm going to put those on the bottom. What I do with those when I have the plastic tokens is I take the sheets that have the plastics, the what would be plastic, like these sheets primarily, and I just put them on the very bottom of the box, so I keep them and I don't punch them out. And I don't really know what's in the plastic tokens box exactly because I don't remember because it's so long ago. Okay, so we got all these tokens right here. There's more. And then we got all of the, okay, so there are the tokens for this, and we just have to put these into the game. Those are the plastic tokens. And I really do like these better. And look how nice, they're super nice quality. I'll pop one out for you. We'll take a look. Super nice quality. Oh, they're actually engraved too. Even better. There's one. It's engraved. Pull another one out for you. So these just have a good tactile feel on them. I like it a lot. Yeah, look at that. It feels good. Okay, good stuff. And then there's obviously these hit tokens and teleporter tokens and things like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a moment to punch all this stuff out and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. Here's all the tiles already put into a space. Here's all the tokens already put into a space. Clearly there's room for more. These are the plastic tokens, so I could mix in the basic tokens. There are also doors, which I'm going to see if I can find those. Real quick, because there's a scenery pack. Yeah, because the doors will be in there, and I'm going to show you that next. Because in here, see, these things I believe are right here on these cardboard punch-outs are the doors, and I don't think you need them anymore. But we're going to take a look just to be sure. I think those are going to go in the bottom of my box as well. And well, they're not color-coded, and I think that may be important. But here are doors, and what I really like about these doors, this is the scenery pack, by the way. Look at that. How cool is that? You just drop them in and drop them out. Pretty neat. Anyway, it looks like I'm still going to need to keep the color-coded door pieces in cardboard for this purpose. So we'll put this back. I guess I think of each different way. This is the computer terminals right here, and these are turrets. Pretty cool stuff, right? So that's what's in there. That's all that's in there, by the way, is this pack right here. And the doors are very valuable, and I guess I will take out those doors Looks like there is a space for them somewhere. I'm going to punch out the... I want to make sure about that. See that this has the space for the summoning, the teleportal tiles. It also, I also don't see a spot, or I don't see in my boxes yet, which there may be in there, the health tokens. So I'm still going through there. There might be down in here. So we probably should take this out before we go too much further. Take this part out. Just put this to the side. I will move the tokens over, and we'll take a look at what's in the rest of the box, because I might be just missing some things that I'm not looking for yet. So, for example, you got the cards here. Oh, there's the regular dice in the bottom of the cards. There's the basis for your characters. And then these are, of course, the cards themselves. I'll just pop this open. We'll put them back in after I open the cards up. Then we'll take a look what's in the box. We know it's mainly going to be miniatures in that box, but let's take a look. So these are the villain cards. These are the event cards that tell you how to activate enemies on your turn, right? And they go through here, and then you've got the basic villains, characters and villains. So here are characters: Hanalone, Babaka, which is kind of a Chewbacca. This is kind of a female Han Solo. Nixie, don't know where that's from, but it's cool looking. Red, and I mean, these are chibi type characters. So that makes them interesting and funny looking. They're cute digits, but they all have cool special abilities. Star Kid, Edge, Colonel Blaze McGunner, and then those are the base characters, and then you have the base monsters: the Weeble, the Scuttlebutt, the Peekaboom, the Octocold, and then some bosses: Peekaround, Iceheart, Octocruel, and Thorn. So that's what comes in that one set of cards, just to show you. And then these cards here are the ones for the scenarios and that. And you can see, like, the first one I think are the actual scenarios, if I'm not mistaken. So there is Distress Signal, PvE, PvP. There's 3 cards for that. I think there's 3 cards for each one. Scenario, yeah, Setup, Scenario 1, Scenario 1. So this is all for the first scenario, second scenario, etc. These first, it looks like almost all these are scenario cards until you get down to here. Then you have the quests, the PvP quests right here. Yep, and that's what's in that set right there. And then you got the basic dice that come with the game, but I got the faction dice. So there are more dice in the game, and then we're going to take a look at what's in this box here. I'll lift it out without destroying the box it's in. Okay, there we go. Like I said, this is most likely going to be mostly miniatures, though there might be some other tokens in here. Nope, it's all miniatures. Okay, so there aren't any like health tokens, so I'm going to need the cardboard health tokens as well. Looks like this guy got out of sorts. I'm going to see in the book if that component is there, or if that's an add-on. I'm not sure. Let's see, because it usually lists all the components, game components. No, the wound tokens are just the cardboard ones, I guess, and then we need the 10 door tokens too in cardboard. Because the rest of them, the quest tokens, the other things I have in plastic, so I don't need to take those out. Okay, and the 6 portal tokens. But here you have the base characters. There's Babaka, or whatever his name is. I mean, the miniatures are awesome, and they're really fun to paint too, by the way. I painted a whole bunch of these types of miniatures for both the basic Arcadia Quest and for Masmora, which are 2 other chibi style games. But then you got these villains that are pretty neat looking and fun to see on the board. They're very colorful and interesting. I like that they're done in blue and a bright color. That's fun. But you can see these are the different characters that you have to play in the basic game. Now there's a lot of other characters, so these basic game characters aren't something you need to worry about for the game, because if you got the Kickstarter, you got the other characters as well. So I'm going to put those back. Kind of hoping I'd see. I'm going to have to steal them from the other Arcadia Quest game, because I definitely want to use. This box is not together very well, by the way. Maybe it's intended to lift up. I don't think so, but it's coming apart. Oh, it is. Okay. So you can actually, nope, it's sticky, so it's not supposed to do that, but it is. It's coming apart. I'll deal with that later. Not a crisis. Okay. And we'll have to get it back into the box. All right. There we go. Okay. And then we also have the four starting ships that you land in, or your cars or whatever that you land in the basic game. So that's what comes in the basic game of Arcadia Quest. I'm going to continue to sort my stuff out, tokens and that out, as we go, so that I don't have to do it later. So I'm going to turn off the camera for a moment. We're going to get that set up, then we'll go on to the next box, which will be the expansion, all the Kickstarter stuff that you get. Okay, well, I haven't quite closed up the main game yet, and the reason being is because this box here is really part and parcel with the other box. This is a Space Marauders box, which is basically the Kickstarter add-on stuff. Now, when I talked to you about, here's the more campaign sheets. I think this is a different campaign, if I'm not mistaken. Comes in this add-on, but you can see there's more scenarios and more characters, and you can see all the characters here, plus some additional monsters that are there. And these are the trays that I was telling you about that you lay over you clip your board into. There's like these little sliders that you put it in there, and basically it would sit like this, and you have your equipment and possibly up to three characters there. And that goes on. Those are the ones I was talking about that come in the game now. But here are all the super cool minis that you get with the game. I don't need to take them all out, but there's one that looks like Princess Leia, one that looks like Ming the Merciless. All these different characters that you get, that you can play in the game. A Stormtrooper, there's RoboCop, there's Tron. I mean, basically you get the idea, you know, it's not who they are. Spock, I don't know who that guy is, but cool stuff, right? and then some additional critters that you're going to play in the game. So that's what's in this box. Again, I don't think I need to open it all up yet, but I think that gives you a really good idea. And of course, you always play with the extra bits from this, because there's no reason not to. It's not like you're playing an expansion. You don't need to play the expansions necessarily, but you definitely want to be playing with this box and the stuff from this box. And that would be going into the main game anyway. So like I said, these sheets here clip into that, not this one rather, but these ones clip into that tray, and that's what you use to keep track of your characters. That way they don't fall out, things don't slip and fall out. And that's really there. Now we can really look at the other stuff that comes in the game. I could bust this out if you really want me to. I can come back and do it, but I figured we'd move on to some of the other things, because the Kickstarter stuff is going to be in a playthrough anyway. We'll get to see it all, right? We may not get to see the other components, but you can see from the artwork and from the back of the box, it has lots of great new characters. So who's the one I was talking about? The Rebecca. That looks like what's her name from Fifth Element? Maybe, I don't know. Calvin, not sure. You guys could probably tell me who all these different characters where they come from. That's definitely Spock, but that looks more like Donald. Looks more like a Han Solo type character. I'm not sure. But anyway, you get the idea. And then there's Major Tom. Can't go wrong with Major Tom. I'd like to paint that one. That would be fun. I wonder if you can make it look just like that. That'd be pretty cool. All right, let's move on. I thought we'd move on to build a better robot and see what's in there. So we know that there's going to be a campaign element to it. But there's also these robots that you can upgrade and build that become part of your, like a companion, almost like the pets were, except it looks like they have interchangeable parts. So that's kind of interesting. And it does require, there is a campaign in it. You can see there's some new stuff and new campaigns and some boards that go into this that need the base game of Arcadia Quest, or Starcadia Quest rather, to play. We're going to pop this open and take a look at what's inside this box. It seems like chock full of stuff. Like all CMON games, when you Kickstarter them, you get so much stuff, it's like not even feasible to play it in a reasonable time frame. But there you have it. That is now this also comes with a box which is called the Build-A-Better Robot Extras, which looks like this. It's just a little box of stuff, and it has some things in it. It has these additional robot parts and some additional cards. Looks like robot cards that go in there. That's what's in that little box, the little expansion box, which was a Kickstarter extra, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I don't remember everything that's a Kickstarter extra or not, but I think you get the idea. So put that back up. We don't need to mess with that right now. We'll just open this box up, but just know that that little box has some additional components from the Kickstarter for the Build-A-Robot expansion. All right. Okay. Opening up here. Okay. So we got a rule book. Nice. Got some additional tokens that we can probably have some space for in here. It looks like we do. Yep, space for everything in here. Cards, new, like again, there's new quest cards, new scenario cards, new characters, a couple new characters in this. They probably specialize in robots, and then some more robot cards in there. And those all go right there. And then there's another small set of tiles right there, which you can see are like some kind of robot factory specific to this scenario. And then these are the robot minis, I imagine. We're going to pop those out and take a look. Let's see. It's a typical, again, of a CMON game. Tons and tons of minis. Yeah, so these look very similar, except for the 2 additional characters. God, these characters are really well done. They're cool. Look at that. That's pretty neat. Looking forward to trying to paint these like I try to get to paint everything else. But as you can see, these are interchangeable little robots that you can mix and match parts on. Though I don't know what that does for you in the game. I haven't read the rules, but I think you get the idea. And then, of course, there's some bigger robots that are enemies. These blue ones that are probably part of, I would imagine, are part of that new campaign. If you get through the base campaign, you can play through this one. But there's, I found that in the original game, it took us a long time. We played it quite a bit, but it took us a long time to get through the original campaign, all of it, with the same sets of characters and players. We had different games running. It took a while. And then, of course, we did play through the campaign, and then the campaign and one of the expansions as well. And I think that's as far as we got. So all this stuff, I don't know what the value of it all is in the end. But anyway, there's the rule book. It's got some different scenarios in it. You get the idea. Okay. And then, of course, as I told you, it had that extra Build-A-Robot package that comes with it. And I have to read the rules on that. I assume they're like the pets in Arcadia Quest. And then, of course, we have Armada. Let's take a look at the back on that. So it's got a couple new characters. They always have a couple new characters. It's got some kind of new faction thing going on here. It looks like a new board. And then some new boards and some quests. It says the swashbuckling expansion to Starcadia Quest introduces the pirate ship. That's probably what that is. An expanded monster dashboard that assaults our heroes with new pirate assault cards. Ouch! Crafty with new crafty players may even find a way to diverting the pirates' attention away from them and direct that havoc on enemy crews. So that's interesting. And then, of course, I'm not going to do these in this unboxing. I think I gave you the basics. We're going to look at those in maybe a second video. And then this is Showdown, which is an arena-based box. Has some arena tiles. It says, ever wanted to play Starcadia Quest minus the quests? Want to beat up your buddies in a free-for-all? This is a free-for-all type scenario with some different rules and different ways to play. We'll take a look at that later, but right now I think I gave you a good indicator. I'm gonna put this up, and you saw all the stuff that comes. Plus, there's the other 2 scenario or mission packs expansions that came with the game that also have additional characters, which is Zenith Invasion, which it's like the aliens, and then you have this one as well, which is the one that looks like Star Wars. And while I'm looking forward to playing all those, there's so much content in this base game. We'll have to see how far we get, guys. So anyway, that is it for quick unboxing of the main stuff in the new Starcadia Quest Kickstarter that just got delivered to me. I'll probably put up a game of it, but not before I do something else. I have some other things I want to get to the table first. Besides, this is not a this is a great game that I played with my family, but it's not, and friends, but it's not a great solo game. It's not a solo game or cooperative game at all. It's very, very competitive. So while I will play it, just like I did with Sanctum, which is competitive, and you can play this game because there's nothing really hidden in the game. Everything's on the table, so it's not that big a deal, but I think you get the idea, and if you've played Arcadia Quest, you've played Starcadia Quest, just there's some different rules. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I hope you enjoyed that. There will be more to come, and I will talk to you in the next episode of something. Now, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.